The Surgeon General warns tobacco may be dangerous for your health. The Surgeon General is a felon and ought to be locked up in prison for talking like a fool. The idea of saying tobacco is dangerous for your health, but alcohol isn't. With 20,000 a year in cars, not to mention the murders committed when the fellow's drunk. Not talking about the child abuse cases and child molesting and wife beating when the fellow's drunk. Not counting them. 20,000 dead every year. Look out for them cigarettes. That's America. And the same asylum run by the inmates. That's what Roloff said, and I'm sure he's right. Surgeon General, look out for the, look out, it'd be dangerous for you to smoke cigarettes, but it wouldn't be dangerous for you to give up your guns. That's your Surgeon General. I only subscribe to one magazine. It's the National Rifleman. I'm a NRA fellow. I'm a life member. One of them Gold Eagle stuff, you know. And every month that thing comes out, there's a page there called The Armed Citizen. And if you collected those things through a period of 20 years, I don't know what you'd have, 2,200, you'd have something like 4,000 cases where citizens have protected themselves or their family because they had a semi-automatic weapon. If they hadn't had it, there'd been dead people all over the place. The Surgeon General. Smoking may be dangerous to your health. Run on, Sonny, run on. Go suck your bottle, okay? Don't kid me, I know what's dangerous. It's dangerous for me not to have a loaded gun on me in America these days. That's what's dangerous. Amen, amen, amen. Now you take, they're always, you know, the air pollution. I go by the airports and all the folks that smoke now, they got a little pen over there. They got a little room there it's about 20 feet square, and there'll be 100 of them there smoking. Oh yeah. Now listen, I don't appreciate smoke being blown in my face. I don't like to breathe smoke. I don't make some big roar about the thing. I mean, it isn't a big deal kind of thing. They act like it's the greatest thing in the world, you know. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to get control of the tobacco industry. Amen. Can't you figure that out? The Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms. They got the alcohol, now they want the tobacco and the weapons. Can't you figure that out?
Go ahead.
All right, this is coming from the cheaper seats. This is from Justin Burnell. He's at work right now. He sent a question.
If he's at work, you got to be working instead of being on the Bible study.
Luke 22:36.
Ruth?
Luke.
22?
Yep. 22:36.
All right, Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Let's read it in verse 35. And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lacked ye anything? And they said, nothing. That doesn't mean it didn't answer him. It says, no, we didn't lack anything. I just want you to get it, because you could read that. And when he said to them, when I sent you out purse and scrip, lacked you anything? And they said, nothing. See, you guys got to read that.
Context.
Then said he unto them, after they said nothing, then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip, and he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So he says, what is the biblical response to Luke 22:36 in light of the current gun regulations our government is trying to pass?
Oh boy. Now, what you're about to look at is God's view on gun control. Now, here's what you got in the context here. Let's talk about this. In verse 35, this is why I read this one first. this is Matthew chapter 10. And this is where he's sending them out to preach the coming kingdom. And he tells them that they don't need any of these things because he's providing it all. And if they would have accepted him as the Messiah, the kingdom would come in and there would be no need for anything for anybody because everything would be provided. Now, when we get to Luke chapter 22, we're up now to right before his crucifixion. We're about to get into the agony in the garden and Peter's denial. He's before Herod, and then he gets crucified. So now what he's telling them is, because the kingdom is not coming, and now you're going to go through another 2,000 years without any kind of righteousness, any kind of peace. He's saying, where before you didn't need a sword because my kingdom was going to be such a kingdom that you didn't need to protect yourself, what he's saying now is that you need to protect yourself. So he's clearly telling them to buy a sword to protect themselves with. And so it's a great thing here that of where we're at today. And of course, this is a very hot topic today, and I'm sure you'll find many of God's people that think that guns are bad and all that stuff, you know. I have here 4 rules for a gunfight. You want them? First of all, guns really only have 2 enemies. The first one is rust. The second one is politicians. The second rule is cops carry guns to protect themselves, not you. The third one, if you're in a bad situation that looks like it could go south or is going south, never, this is a typical teaching that they teach police officers, never let someone who threatens you inside of an arm's length from you. And the most important rule, why you need a sword. Now, in the Greek, and I don't ever go to the Greek, but on one of the count I did. The Greek word there for sword is 45 ACP. Now, most people think if you're carrying a gun, you're paranoid. Do you know how stupid that is? If you're carrying a gun, you don't have to be paranoid about anything. Now, here's the most important rule, why you should have a sword. It's up to you. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I know in Raytown, which I've ridden in Raytown all my life. I like Raytown. Raytown, the redneck country of the world. I love it. We really are up there. We got a Walmart. Yeah. I love Raytown. A lot of history in Raytown. Most people don't know that the first Air Corps flying airfield was in Raytown, Missouri, right there by the bank. But most people don't know that. That's okay. But Raytown had budget cuts, so they cut like 18 police officers off the force. So we have less than half of what they normally have. And they were good guys, and the guys they have left are good guys. But obviously, policemen are overworked today. They have all kinds of deals. They actually stated that the Walmart in Raytown is like 2 full-time jobs. I think in 1 year's time they had over 600, 800 arrests at that Walmart alone for people stealing stuff. So that takes a lot of time. So you call 911, and they're going to tell you right now that in any city with all the problems they have, the response time for a 911 emergency if somebody is breaking into your home, the response time in many cases is going to be up to 12 to 24 minutes. Now, a lot can happen in 12 to 24 minutes if somebody is breaking into your house. So keep this in mind. The average response time of a 911 call is 24 minutes. The average response time of a 9mm is 1,400 feet per second. Write that down. So, that's all funny stuff. What he's saying here is this, though it's true, is that the kingdom isn't coming now. So there's going to be no peace. There's going to be nothing that you can do about it. Everybody wants to save the planet, but nobody wants to save their family. And it's a thing where it's you better take whatever means you have to take to make sure that you're safe, your family's safe. I know, concealed carry has come out now, and a lot of people do that, and I get it. Everybody, these school massacres are absolutely horrendous. I just tell you. I mean, they're absolutely horrendous, and there's no answer to it. I mean, there is an answer to it, or there was an answer to it. But, it's just a terrible thing. And I was talking to Joe Christensen about it last week, who's an independent captain on the police force, a member of our church here. And he said until they do something with the schools, what are you going to do? And I thought to myself, you know what? This goes to show you where we're at and how stupid this country is. If we just had all of the money that we sent over to Iraq, I mean, we loaded up 3 C-130s full of million, thousand, billion, $trillion and shipped it over to a terrorist who's going to make bombs with it, who's going to wind up coming back and killing us. If we would have just had that money alone, we could have put an armed team in every school in America for the next 125 years. But that's where this country is. They don't see the simple solution. They make everything complicated. And the verse is right. It's only going to get worse. Your stand on gun control or getting one or not getting one is your business. I really don't care one way or the other. But he's telling these guys here, this is the doctrinal impact of this verse, and it carries on to where we're at because we're still in that time frame. And what he's telling them is the fact that when I sent you out in Matthew chapter 10, the kingdom was coming, and you didn't need anything because the king was going to establish a righteous reign of peace. He ain't coming now. So you better sell all that stuff that you do have and buy yourself a sword to protect yourself, because for the next 1900 years it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. And now there'll be no peace till the Prince of Peace comes. So that's what he's dealing with. That's what he's dealing with.